I'm going to say this out front. Y'all are sleeping on that Final Fantasy X review. That just hit. Right? Dude, that part 1 just hit 1,000 views not even like a couple days ago. And I'm like, how the hell did it take this? Because that's probably, not even going to lie, that's probably my favorite review. Just because, like, the way we bounce off each other is so good. And, like, some of the stuff you added I really like. Because you gave me some perspective on, like, things like Godzilla when we were talking about Sin that I didn't even think about because I'm not really a Godzilla guy. And just your dynamic of being not necessarily, not a hater or anything, but someone who's never experienced the game before, like a fresh perspective.
Oh, God, yeah. Like, I've always wanted to play it, and like people kept telling me, like, you need to play it. It's like one of the greatest Final Fantasy games. And I was like, well, I'll play it someday. And then this seemed like the best time to do it when we were doing that review. I was like, well, we needed we decided to collab, and it was like, well, we need a subject that we'll both have a lot to talk about. And I was like, well, I've not played it, so if I play it, I'll have plenty of opinions, very fresh about it.
Oh yeah,
man, it doesn't stand up. It doesn't stand up to what people were saying it would.
No, what was your what did you hear going into it? Because I heard like it was good and all that, and then when I actually played it for the first time years ago, and I was like, this is really underwhelming. And then when I revisited it, I was like, okay, I can appreciate some parts of the story a little bit more, but good lord, the pacing of the gameplay, I just wanted to bash my head against the wall, especially every time Tidus opened his fucking mouth. So what was it like for you?
I had a friend who, like, I don't think he played the game, but like, they're not a person who's good at RPGs though, so I don't think they ever finished it. But they they knew all the lore, and the favorite thing was like the romance of it, which I don't think is the greatest.
No.
And like it was always harped on like the story and stuff and characters, but a lot of characters are questionable in that. And then the story is not bad. It just kind of just meanders on it for a while, and like twists are kind of given away a little quicker than they probably should be.
What did you feel about? How did you feel about the combat system once it opened up a little bit more and the sphere grid really started expanding? Did that like? Because that was the thing I liked the most about it. Was that something that you thought was like the shining star? Did it get frustrating for you at points?
Like, okay, so the sphere grid's a great idea, but it seems like it is made to encourage grinding more than natural progression.
Right.
And that's just padding at that point.
What you said about the monster arena, how it's grinding for levels, to grind for spears, to grind for item components. I was like, that didn't even click in my head.
Yeah.
But once you said that, I was like, Jesus Christ, that is a grind fest.
That's literally just be like, if you want the best stuff, you're gonna have to play for a while.
Dude, when I was trying to max out some parts of the sphere grid, I'm literally just sitting in front of that save point in front of the arena, just constantly reloading monster fights. Like, oh, this wasn't it. This wasn't it. This one. There we go. Okay, and dude, fucking. And I think
there's only like I think that arena is the one place where you can get specific items.
Yeah, exactly.
In an easy manner, and it's like, okay.
And not only that, you have to defeat 10 of each monster, and then go through this grind fest with a big boss just to get an item for someone who you probably aren't going to use that much. The lightning dodging for Lula's Celestial Weapon. Jesus Christ, 100 bolts for that?
Is that fun? Is that fun for somebody?
I don't know. Like, who's sitting there and mashes? Dude, because if you fuck up, don't you have to start over or something?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know, actually. I don't know
if it's 100 dodges or 100 dodges in a row.
Correct us in the comments. Neither one of us are going to play it again.
Yeah, no.
Well, when we were writing that review, it was funny because you gave me a little bit of perspective because I never realized how much I curse. And then listening to our voices contrast, I was like, oh no, I'm terrible.
For mine, I felt like I talked way too like monotone. Like, I need to be on my best behavior and try and be as professional as possible. It's kind of how I took it, even though I probably should have been more casual with it.
Honestly, no. I think your approach was probably the better approach. Well, it was what fit that, because I went in like already angry with the game, but because you came in more controlled, you kept that tone the whole way through, and I think that worked. But I remember I wanted to have part 2 start with the mini quests or the mini games and the side quests and all that kind of stuff, and that was the start of part 2. So that was on your channel. But when the original version of that, it starts off, and this is still your channel, so it starts off with me going, I fucking hate Blitzball the fucking most. This game is fucking bullshit. Dude.
I do remember this.
And then I don't know if you noticed, I changed some of the dialogue to, I removed some fucks, basically. I replaced it with like some goddamn, like some of it doesn't sound natural for people who are used to how I talk, but I was like, this is your audience, I gotta ease them into how I speak.
And then like Blitzball was another thing. Like I couldn't be bothered with that.
Dude,
some people apparently love it. Like 'cause it's like a whole other game inside of a game, I guess, for them.
Okay, that doesn't make it good.
Yeah, like if you there's like an 11-page instruction manual. Well, not even 11-page, 11-chapter instruction manual. And I was like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah, what's it called? Like, if you just because you put Superman 64 inside of Final Fantasy VII Remake, that doesn't suddenly make fucking Superman 64 a good game. It's still terrible. Like, dude, I grinded. I flew through so many rings for spheres. Great, you wasted your time.
And like, it's like what? It's like a combination of like almost like, I guess, like it feels like it's like chess, but also kind of like football.
It's like Madden, but like when the players collide, then it turns into a turn-based RPG.
And then no matter what I chose,
the RNG, yeah, exactly, dude. I brought that up. The RNG was bullshit. Like I'm doing math, and I'm like, okay, I should survive this with 1 hit point, and then this dude fist fucks me and takes away all my life, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess fuck me then.
I guess it's like some games have like a card game in them that you can play.
Final Fantasy VIII was one.
That was one, yeah, and it's like maybe that's what they were going for, like, but they want to make it more in depth, so there'd be like people who'd be fan of that. But even though there are fans of it, but I don't get it. I don't like it, especially since it was required to do at least like twice.
What, Blitzball?
Yeah.
Blitzball. It was required once with the Blitzball Arena. I mean, it felt like twice because you had the 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy IX made the same mistake with their card game. It was like Tetra Master is one point in the game where they force you to play it, and it's like, this game kind of sucks. Like, Triple Triad in 8 apparently is supposed to be really good, but I never bothered with it.
That feels like they were wanting to make an actual card game, and like if we sit them down and make them play it, they'll understand why it's good and why they should buy cards for it.
With 8, it helped with the junction system. You were able to refine magic and stuff from the cards, so they're at a purpose. I don't remember Tetra Master being helpful in 9 at all, and Blitzball sure as fuck wasn't helpful in 10.
I think they might give you money, but I don't even know.
Dude, I busted my ass trying to beat that that one mandatory fight, and when I finally, dude, I'm not even kidding. I probably spent how long you spent on the Unalaska fight. I probably spent that on the first match of Blitzball. It was that because every time I got close to score, the round would end and the cutscene would play, and then I would just be with Waka, who's not as good, and I had to do that so many times. When I finally win, I got like a couple of spheres that you can just get from regular enemies, and it doesn't change the story. It's not like something that unlocks like Waka's ultimate weapon or something, because like with 7, you know, stuff that seemed minor like could affect like who Cloud goes on a date with at the Golden Saucer, but with 10 it doesn't do anything. So you just get a little cutscene where Waka goes, yay, I got a trophy, yay.
Yeah, I did the thing, and yeah. And God. And I remember when it started up and when the round started, I was like, I don't even know what's happening.
Oh, yeah, because you're not about to read 11 things. And then
I was like, how do I go to the next part of this? Like, how do I go forward? I didn't even know that part.
Oh, dude, weren't those camera angles just the worst?
That's what made it unusable for me, because like you have those camera angles, then you have like a map of where everyone is.
Yes,
and they're all just kind of moving everywhere, and I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
The map looks like 3 groups of pizza just moving in like circles half the time, and it's like, oh shit, the pizzas are coming for me.
that game.
Yeah. So, how excited are you for one day playing 10-2?
I actually had played 10-2.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Yeah, which I don't know why. I think it was just at the video store, which, you know, that ages me a fair amount, I suppose.
Oh, so this was a while ago then?
Oh, yeah, I was like in 8th grade, maybe? Was that right? I might be right. And I remember playing it and just being like, this is like my expectations were much lower though as well. So, and I'd never played or really heard much of 10-2 at that point, really. No, not 10-2, but 10 and 10-2, I guess.
Right.
Because it wasn't really my wheelhouse around that time. And so, like, I remember playing it and being like, this is all right. And there's cute girls in it, so that works.
Yeah, they took the Dead or Alive extreme approach with that game.
Yeah. That's very easy for a teenager to be like, all right, I see what they're going with this.
There's some, I'm not going to lie, some of the music in 10-2, it's a little catchy. What the fuck is it? The What Can I Do For You song. Oh, the World of Real Emotion, whatever it is. That one's actually, it's a bit of a bop, I'm not going to lie.
and I think I still might have been like in my phase of like still getting into like Japanese stuff, even though I like had tastes of it here and there. So when I saw that in a game, or I saw that like, do you remember what X-Play is?
Yes.
Okay. They like reviewed it or whatever, and I remember it wasn't a great review, but they showed that opening scene. I was like,
it looks good.
Like that. Like,
dude, it's just like I didn't play it when it was like brand new, but I can only imagine like the jaw dropping that was going on with that first scene alone.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it did look good for its time, I suppose. Yeah,
like graphically, yeah. But the tone was all wrong.
And then the rest of the music's pretty awful. Because I think I messaged you at one point and being like, I wonder how good the X2 music is. And I looked it up and I was like, it's not.
Yeah, no, when I was getting background music for the review, there was a couple of, I can only use so much of 10's music before it gets repetitive. So I'm like, let me check out what 10-2 has. And I'm like, no. Because the ones that I liked were like the most noticeable ones, like the ones with like lyrics and stuff. So that would have been distracting. It was the same problem I had with when I did the 13-2 review, because the music in that game is fucking dog shit, and I couldn't use any of it.
There was a comment on the second part of the Final Fantasy X review that was maybe like a couple months ago, and I think they were like comparing this to 13 and being mad at an RPG for having RPG elements. This isn't it, brother.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I was like, did you watch the video with the sound on? Because I
get their point. Like they're being like, don't judge it just solely on that, I guess. But to a degree, like it's important. That's in the game. That is the game.
Exactly. And also it depends on how the RPG elements are handled. If they're done badly, I'm gonna point out that it's done badly.
Yeah, an RPG can have RPG elements and them be fun to use.
Yeah, but it can still be, they can still have terrible things in it.
And I want to point out, like the Unalesca fight, my biggest problem with it was the constant zombification.
Yeah.
And that almost never happens throughout most of the entire game. That's like the one fight where it happens.
That's true,
continuously. And they only mention it offhandedly once.
Yeah, because the thing with that fight was that it was a difficulty spike that was just like really extreme for that part of the game. Yeah.
And if you hadn't been grinding your spheres and stuff to get certain skills and abilities, you'd go in vastly unprepared.
Right, yeah. No, I did lose that one a couple times until I realized, I just have to work with the zombie status, which is annoying, but if you don't, she just fucking kills you outright because she's cheap like that.
My strategy going forward for almost every boss fight, because I might have lost a boss fight at least once each time just because I just didn't know what to do. And so my strategy going forward was always to grind up my limit break for Yuna for all of her summons every time. And then literally, I think it was like the second fight with Seymour or whatever, where he just shows up on a cliffside to fight them for some reason.
Yeah, isn't he the worst?
I literally did all of those and won that fight just by using those, and that's it.
Hey, whatever works, man.
And I was like, all right, that was easy. Are they all going to be this way? And most of them are, as long as you are ready for them.
Yeah, I mean, at least, dude, Jekt was, like, ridiculously easy. That was embarrassing. The only good thing about Jekt's fight was I got to jam out to Otherworld for, like, 5 minutes. Yeah. You said what? It touches into your...
I really love that song.
You said that touched into your emo side, right?
Oh, yeah. Even now, I still love that. Even though it's, like... It's completely unintelligible what they're saying.
Oh, dude, yeah, I had to look up the lyrics.
Yeah. Now, Nobumatsu did another version of it in a band he was in. And that one you can actually understand it, and it's sung by female. And even though the backing music is still metal, she sings in a more, I guess, a more understandable way, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
More akin to like say like the Evanescence singer. I think her name's Amy Lee. I always forget that.
That's probably closer to it. Yeah.